Okay, this is where the water heater pressure relief valve drain discharges. And this is your exhaust vent for the water heater. Okay, your flue. This orientation should have been turned around to protect it from the water. Rainwater can come in here and go back into the system. This can catch rainwater. This is supposed to be a shield. This was installed upside down. Flue thimble installed upside down. Walking in here past the this cleaning equipment is beyond the scope of the water conditioners are beyond the scope of this inspection. This is your water heater. It's a tankless water heater. This is our thermostat is at it. This is the flue we were just talking about. Okay, this right here, the manufacturer, this was installed for a reason. This is a high efficiency system. That means it rakes all the heat it can, as much heat as possible, and puts it into the water, because you paid for the heating to heat the water. That's what makes it high efficiency. That's why this can be a plastic cap. Okay, that's why this can be a plastic cap. But a byproduct of a high efficiency water heater is it has a byproduct of condensate, and condensate is very acidic. And so you should have a hose that comes out here and has a loop and then comes down. And then, since it comes down and they drain continuously when they're in use, you should have a safety pan installed here. A safety pan. A lot of builders say, oh, a safety pan is not required. Well, not required if you can do all the drains the way they're supposed to be done. That's kind of like the final word. That's what the manufacturer, don't trust me. Read what the manufacturer says. And the manufacturer, I believe you're going to find, I'm going to bake it in the instructions into your report, that the manufacturer says that you should have a little hose that comes off of here with a loop and comes down. Now, since it's going to come down and it's going to go into your grass or whatever, then you might want to think about having a neutralizing filter on this condensate, this acidic condensate that we want to keep out of our heat exchanger. Maybe you want a neutralizing filter on that, but the manufacturer themselves do not stipulate that you should have a neutralizing filter. That would be the local jurisdiction having authority. So we're coming on down here. Now this is on you, dear client. This is the 1-year inspection, so 1-year warranty inspection. So you're going to want to clean your filter, your screen. Okay, this is a Lamborghini. Okay, this is not a little Ford Focus. You're going to get a much better performance, and you got like a 30-year loan on it. Most people do, unless you pay cash for the house, and that's cool. But with a 30-year loan, you finance this thing for 30 years. It's going to cost you a lot. I mean, they're not cheap in the first place. So to maximize, to get the return on your investment, you want this thing to last as long as possible, and that's why we would want to clean our screen out once a year. This turns 14-year water heater, 10-year water heater into a 7-year or a 5-year water heater. And no, you don't have to do it. You can replace it in 5 years. You can replace it in 7 years. And I'm not saying that it'll go bad in 5 or 7 years. I'm saying that it's not unusual. Okay. Now, to clean this thing, you need to turn these valves off, turn these valves on, and go to YouTube, and then you can take the water heater, the valve, go to YouTube, and they've got instructions on how to do it. And if you don't know how to do it, I don't know how to do it. I don't have one of these. I've got a conventional water heater. But anyway, if you're not comfortable with the instructions you get from YouTube, get a plumber to come out here and do that. You'll be glad you did in the long run. Everybody hates paying for maintenance, but it's been statistically proven to pay for itself. Now we're coming along here. This is our pressure relief valve. Okay. Now, this valve should have a vacuum breaker in the same room as the water heater, according to the International Plumbing Code. So you're supposed to have a vacuum breaker there. If you had a vacuum breaker there, how would you keep it from leaking in the garage? You'd keep it from leaking in the garage with a safety pan. So for 2 reasons, we need a safety pan installed. Now, again, a safety pan may not be required, but it's not required so long as you can fulfill the requirements of all your drain piping. If your drain piping doesn't, and it doesn't, You can't facilitate your drain piping being plumbed properly without a safety pan. Safety pan is by default. By default. And this is your pressure regulation valve. Actually, that's not. I take that back. That's a mixing valve. That's a mixing valve to prevent scalding. Okay. The pressure valve is probably in here. But what did we learn? We learned that our hood is installed upside down. We learned that we do not have a condensate drain line. We learned that we do not have a vacuum breaker for a pressure relief valve. And we also learned that we're due for routine service.